New York Times poll. This is unbelievable. So New York Times and Siena College, small upstate New York college, good school. They have a poll. And they sampled 3,662 registered voters. That's massive. All right, Republican 49, Democrat 45. Okay, this is across the country now. And here's what they came up with. They queried people in 6 swing states. Nevada, Trump 52, Biden 41. Michigan, Trump 48, Biden 43. Georgia, Trump 49, Biden 43. Pennsylvania, Trump 48, Biden 44. Wisconsin, the only state Biden is ahead in this poll, 47-45. Arizona, 49-44 Trump. Now that has sent shock waves through the Democratic Party. I'm not surprised. Things are so bad in this country for the folks, not the pinheads in D.C. or Manhattan or in Los Angeles. The folks, they know there's something wrong with Biden. Okay, another poll. American Pulse Research. 568 respondents, Republican 34, Democrat 39. Question number 1, do you think the world is safer today than it was before Joe Biden became president? Safer 25%, less safe 56%. Who are the 25% that think the world's safer? And these are zombies, non-thinking ideologues. Question number 2. Among the 4 issues, which do you support the most? Strengthening border security, 80% of Americans support that. Support for Israel, 75%. Interesting number. Support for Ukraine, 67%. Taiwan, 64%. Republican primary. Trump, 61%. DeSantis, 12%. Haley, 10%. Democrat preference. Remember, there's not a real primary. Biden, 38%. Gavin Newsom, 17%. Bernie Sanders, 10%. Kamala Harris, 1%. That is stunning. All right. So let's go to the guy who put that poll together. His name is Dustin Olson. He comes to us from Washington, D.C. He's the host of a podcast, Political Trade Secrets. We like that podcast. This is not, by the way, and Dustin, I'm sorry to intrude on your time. This is not a podcast. This is a broadcast. Dustin does a podcast. All right. So what's the big takeaway from you from this poll?
So we got into a lot of different issues. You just highlighted some of them. And I would say that that number that you started off with, that so many people think that this country and the world is less safe since Biden became president. And it's interesting as I look at the numbers, really his disapproval seems to track with what people think about the economy right now. But I have a feeling that over the next year, as things change in Ukraine and things change in Israel, where he's doing a little bit better on his approval, that it might start to track one of the most shocking numbers, which is the disapproval on the border, which people know that you were one of the first people to really highlight this as an issue. And it's amazing here in 2023 that this really could be the undoing of an American president.
And, you know, there's no way to defend it. Now, Biden runs around going, Bidenomics is doing great and blah, 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 blah. He's running against a grocery store and a gas station. So that is fairly self-evident. Now, you also have another, I don't know whether you want to scoop yourself or not, but you got something else important coming out this week, right?
Well, so one of the things that I think that you probably are referring to is one of the most interesting questions that we asked in this survey is, I hadn't seen anybody else ask it, is do people believe that college campuses have become a breeding ground for anti-Semitism, and it's really quite shocking to me, and I think quite shocking to the country that 57% of the country believes that is actually the case. And by far, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to look at my notes real quick because I actually have an interesting breakdown for you on Republicans and Independents and Democrats. 77% of Republicans agree with that statement that campuses have now become a breeding ground for anti-Semitism, and 66% of independents agree with that. Wow. Democrats, 36%.
You know, this is the far left that dominates many college campuses now. They hate Israel, as we've been over and over and over again. I don't know if it's rank anti-Semitism so much among the children, because most college kids are children. They don't know anything. As they're captives by the far left ideology. Last question, Justin. When you see that Trump has the nomination locked, I mean, I can't see, there's no way he's not going to be the nominee for the GOP Grand Old Party. But Biden, I don't think is going to make it. Do you have an opinion on that?
So, well, the first thing I thought is last time we talked about, this primary was over at that time. So we just decided to ask the American people, what do you think? What do Republican primary voters think? And Trump had 61% from primary voters in support. However, it's almost 70% think that the primary is over and he's effectively the nominee. And I think that that's where the primary is going on that side. It is very clear, though, that Democrats, when we ask them, do they want Biden to be on the ticket, 36% said they definitely want him, and 35% said they wanted somebody else. So that's what we asked. The next question is, who would you like? And Gavin Newsom is obviously coming close to Biden on that.
But they don't know anybody else, so it's going to be a real disaster for them. So the podcast, again, is Political Trade Secrets, and we should check that out. Just keep us posted with all your data. We really appreciate you coming on today.